Cornstarch and water. What is it? If you let it sit, it oozes, but if you touch it, it firms up. It's actually a shear thickening fluid, and these are at the very core of my research. Hi, my name is Haidyn, and my research is on the effect of a Halloysite nanotube on the rheological behavior of a silica and PEG-based shear thickening fluid. These fluids are often used for impact protection and are characterized by two parameters, the peak viscosity and the critical shear rate this viscosity occurs at. Additives to this bulk PEG and silica solution are characterized by the effect they have on those parameters. They're lubricants if they increase the critical shear rate but decrease the peak viscosity, and they're friction increasing factors if they decrease the critical shear rate but increase the peak viscosity. Interestingly, I found that my Halloysite nanotube additive was able to act as both, depending on the situation it was in. For my research, I synthesized multiple different compositions of fluids using both ultrasonication and evaporation techniques. These fluids were characterized by the size of silica they were composed of. They were in range if the silica diameter was in the range of the nanotube diameter, and out of range if they weren't. This allowed me to study the effects of the size interaction of the particles. Once my fluids were synthesized, I characterized their rheological behavior using both parallel plate and concentric circle geometry on a rheometer. I produced viscosity profiles of viscosity for shear rate for various fluids. Using these profiles, I determined that the effect of the nanotube on the rheological behavior was dependent on both silica concentration and silica size. At low concentrations of in-range fluids, it acted purely as a friction increasing factor, and at high concentrations of out-of-range fluids, it acted purely as a lubricant. But at the high concentrations of in-range fluids and low concentrations of out-of-range fluids, it depicted both behaviors. Overall, it acted as a lubricant, but instead of the lubrication effect becoming more pronounced and the peak viscosity continually to decrease and the critical shear rate continued to increase as more clay was added as is expected, it shifted closer to the original curve. The peak viscosity began to increase closer to the original peak viscosity, and the critical shear rate began to decrease and become closer to the original critical shear rate of the fluid. For these reasons, I believe Halloysite nanoclay is a perfect candidate for an additive for shear thickening fluids using impact protection, because it allows you to shift your critical shear rate higher to allow for maximum impact protection without sacrificing as much viscosity as with other lubricants. Thank you.